The average sale price for a home in Waterloo Region declined in July, showing signs of lower prices for buyers. But how are things looking as we get into August? For more on that, let's bring in realtor Tony Johal. Tony, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Colt.
Well, first, I just want to get off on it. How are the prices looking?
The prices definitely in July did come down. They came down about 8% from June. Now, one of the things that I'd mentioned last month was, is this $1 million plus for a detached home sustainable? Or was it maybe just a couple of big sales that really pushed that number up there? And I think we got our answer in July. The numbers came down under $1 million. The average detached home is about $920,000. So I would say that, we're going to be floating around this number, give or take, for the rest of the year while the rates remain where they're at.
Does it get lower?
The pricing?
Yeah.
It's going to be influenced more by time of the year, I think, at this point. Once you get into November, December, buyers become a bit more scarce. If the rates remain high, then yes, that will put a bit of pressure on the existing inventory. Plus, anybody selling at certain times of the year, like November, December, is usually because they have to. And so then they're going to be a lot more aggressive with their pricing. So it's possible. When
it comes to selling, is this the time to sell, or is there a certain time that would be good?
I would say that we can anticipate probably a fairly strong fall market. The market's doing what it did for the past however long real estate's been around for, with the exception of the last 5 years, where there was no bad time to sell. But now, when we're going to get into the fall market, I think we are going to get that spike that, July kind of lulled a little bit on.
Inventory-wise, what kind of properties are available?
Well, if you're looking for a condo, for example, in downtown or uptown Waterloo or Cambridge, there's an abundance. And I'm talking like the apartment-style condos. There's lots of them. So if you're a buyer, you've got a ton of options. Now, if you're looking for something closer to the 401, you are getting a bit more tighter inventory. It is a lot more in demand because it is still something that a lot of Toronto buyers are looking towards, the ability to be able to hop on the 401 and get down to Toronto. So you are dealing with a bit of inventory issues out there, but we are seeing more and more for sale signs come up as the summer kind of progresses on.
What kind of types of homes do you think are the ones that are really selling right now?
You know what? Any home that shows really well, that is priced accordingly, that is limited in terms of competition in that particular district or area or neighborhood, those are the ones that are just flying off the market. And we're still seeing bidding wars on those types of homes.
How important is it to have that showing of the home be properly beautified?
Very important. When the market was sizzling hot, buyers were just happy to get into a house. Now buyers have choices. So if there's something that they don't like about house A, they will move on to house B.
First-time buyers, any message for them?
I would say that get out there. Don't be afraid of making offers on properties. Do not be afraid of putting in your finance or inspection conditions. It's certainly a lot more commonplace today than what it was in the past. But I would say start with a pre-approval and get out there and start looking at some houses.
Are you seeing any bidding wars when it comes to selling the homes?
Absolutely. We are still seeing them. Definitely not as common as what it used to be. And it's not a blanket statement that we're seeing it across everything, but pockets of town, we are still seeing it. And of course, if it comes down to the pricing, if that home is priced quite considerably below market value, it is going to drive a bidding war regardless of the state.
I know you mentioned kind of near that 401, but is there a certain area of the regional Waterloo that's kind of selling well?
Well, I would say definitely along the newer communities like Doon and Lackner. If you're looking in Kitchener, Cambridge, Hespeler is always a hot neighborhood. North Galt, so kind of right up and down that 401 vein, or 5-10 minutes off the 401.
What about how many houses are you seeing sold, I guess, just now? This summer, has it been a good summer for selling?
Well, up until July, it had been strong in terms of a decent summer, coming off of a strong spring, getting into a good summer. It was strong. July, things dropped off a little bit. I was telling someone earlier today that Pearson Airport is packed right now. People are, going on vacation. They're going to the Caribbean, taking time with their kids now that they can travel with no restrictions. And, just enjoying vacation. The lakes are busy, the, cottage country is busy. These are all your buyers out there looking at, they should be here looking at your property, but they're out right now. So you couple that with another interest rate that we had, an interest rate hike in July. All of a sudden it did soften up July a little bit.
I don't want to say that we're so close to the end of summer, but we are getting there. So yeah, maybe once those people return from vacation, it might be a little bit better.
I think so. I think with school approaching and people getting back into their normal rhythm of life, school has a way of kind of normalizing people's behavior, and normal behavior would be for people to actively be looking for real estate.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us, Tony. And that's realtor Tony Johal.